are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
All right, everybody. Welcome back into another episode of the Mark Lesko Podcast. Joined by Brett Cable once again. Going to talk Penn State football, of course. The number one love for everyone listening to the show. Number one love for Brett and I. So we got a playoff game coming up this weekend, obviously. And, I just wanted to talk about some news. We'll do a pregame show, I don't know, probably do it Saturday morning maybe, or Thursday, not sure yet, because the game is Saturday at noon, so.
Yeah, it's an early game, so probably Thursday night or something. See what's up.
Yeah. But welcome in, everyone. Again, we're going to talk about some Penn State news. Brett and I had some stuff that we were talking about that we disagreed with that we're going to talk about. And Brett and I agree on a lot of stuff, generally, which is nice. That's important that we agree on important things. Some of the stuff,
on the sole values of Penn State and all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Certain things that's good to have disagreements. Yeah.
Yeah. And in life, we agree on pretty much everything. Particularly politically, which is nice. It's kind of hard to do a show with someone that you disagree with on like values and stuff like that. But
yeah.
So
evidence has shown that.
yes, it has. We got I'm my approach to Penn State football. I'm always going to be Brett's more optimistic than me, not in a bad way. Brett's more optimistic than me most of the time. I've just been a fan for so long, and I'll give you examples of when I was not pessimistic about the outlook of Penn State football. I was very positive and happy about it. Brett, let's get into the comments here.
Trolls 101 class.
Yeah. I mean, we just
step on in class.
We just gotta, you gotta laugh about it. All right.
Oh, it's great.
So first and foremost, this is on Instagram. Let me adjust this real quick. Gus Johnson is not joining us today. He will be back at some point. But okay, so
he's on vacation. He's in Hawaii right now, living it up.
Is he? Okay.
Sipping on virgin pina coladas. Yeah.
He's wearing his Michigan gear. He's probably with Ryan Day. He's probably at Woody Hayes right now, man. Like just sitting there on a lawn chair watching him. So most of the time on Instagram, when I'm bored, I'll just throw up a comment, and I usually put something. It's my opinion, but I usually just put it up to fire people up, and then people are having like arguments and conversations off of my comment, and then I'll just delete my comment and just like make them even more mad. That's what I usually do. But so as soon as I said, this is a post on Penn State football talking about the playoff, and I said, as soon as they see a team they're not favored to, they'll lose. I mean, it's been the story Franklin's whole tenure. Who knows what could happen in the future, but I'm just going off of history here.
It's true. It's very true.
Someone sent me clown emojis. Someone said, no one listens to your podcast, bro. Give back the equipment. And I said, no one listens, ? And then someone commented at that guy, said, bro, you took the comment so personal. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I love it.
Camera lost connection. Hold on. Jeez. What the heck is going on here? Oh, all right. So I don't know if I'm kicking the wire or what, but yeah, sorry for the background. I'm changing it up once again. I can't make up my mind, but yeah, my background is not my background right now. So first of all, another person said this too. Like, no one listens to your podcast. It's like, let me see here. Let me see how many. Okay, we have 527 subscribers on YouTube. They listen to us. And then I have like 70 some subscribers on Rumble. And then on Spotify and Apple have subscribers. So, that's factually incorrect that no one listens to my podcast. I don't know if that guy, I doubt that guy's listened to our podcast. So I don't know how he knows that. I don't know if he like went and looked at our viewership or something. I don't know.
He probably doesn't even know that you're a Penn State fan. That's probably
probably not. He probably didn't even look.
He's probably a Penn State fan, like just mad about it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Now we got these comments here. More wonderful comments. I should open up TikTok too. Those are the best. But we got okay, so we got YouTube. Penn State blows. I said they blow. PSU played lights out. And still, this is Penn State, Oregon. Someone said, and they still lost. And I said, this is one of the dumbest comments I've ever seen in my life. Congratulations. It's like you're pointing out the obvious. Yes, they lost. You can do math. Good job. Alyssa said he loves that we're covering Penn State basketball. And I wanted to read this one from Donald Jones because he was going at us in the last episode. And he literally wrote a book apologizing. All right, I'm not going to read that. That's a lot. But he basically said, sorry to be so abrasive in your chat. He was basically saying that Oregon lost to Ohio State 9 times straight. And then they beat them at Ohio State convincingly. I remember Ohio State was a 21-point underdog. Oregon was a 21-point underdog, and they won by like 21.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, and I bet on Oregon that game. They had Kayvon Thibodeau that year.
Yep.
He's basically saying, like, just because you're losing to Ohio State now doesn't mean it's going to last forever, which I agree with.
Yeah.
And then he just said some stuff about the playoff. Miami, okay, Alyssa was saying about bowl games. Brooklyn USC said that Penn State used to have lights out, like with safeties and receivers. They did. They always did. I thought we tackled very well in the Big Ten title game. I mean, our defensive backs were tackling well, I thought. And as someone who played defensive back, that is not easy to do at all. Open field tackling is very hard.
It was just the speed. It was the speed of Tez Johnson, dude. The dude runs like a 4.3.
And like you said, they should have put A.J. Harris on him, and they didn't.
Would have locked him down somewhat, not the whole time, obviously, but
yeah.
I mean, I do get why they didn't. Like, he's not a slot corner, but he is your best corner. So game plan for that coming up to the game. Like, if you know he's going to give you trouble, and he hit 188 yards or something, dude. Like, you can't do that. So A.J. Harris locked down Evan Stewart, very good receiver, had 0 catches. Like, you can't ask for any more from A.J. Harris. And he tackled very well that game. A.J. Harris is our best tackling corner. He kills guys. You see him? He goes up and really well. He's our best tackler on our team in the secondary, other than Kevin Winston Jr. and he was hurt all year. So I mean, Kevin Winston Jr. has never missed a tackle, which is just insane. So
This guy said, "What are you talking about? If you lose, Notre Dame will 100% be above you guys. That makes 0 sense."
And it didn't happen. So
I said, "We're talking about if we lose, Notre Dame won't be above us. Does this clarify it more?" We won't ask for any further predictions from you, sir. I said, who asked for predictions? Which no one did ask us for predictions. We just gave them. He said, nobody, but since he offered and was wrong, we don't need further predictions. I said, he will continue just because this is a dumb comment. Congratulations. He said that Oregon will shock Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. They didn't play them. Like, why would you say you don't want any more predictions from us if we said what the obvious was, that they probably were going to play Oregon? They lost to Michigan. So He said, "Oh, my bad. Didn't know a comment from a stranger would make him do more predictions." Yes, they will. I didn't even see that comment back. Yes, it will, man. He's going to give predictions on everything under the sun. We'll have him predict the weather for the next week every episode. OSU is not going thanks to my Wolverines. Jeez, this guy put a lot. Reigning national champs and Big Ten champs. If you guys can't even win a Big Ten championship, not even eligible, got lucky they're sending half the ranked teams to the playoffs for the first time. Well, at least we were in the playoff in the championship game. You weren't even in it, so shut up.
Yeah.
Your team is 7-5.
Yeah.
Isn't your stadium shaped like a toilet seat? That's why you guys are always talking about toilets. That makes no sense. The horseshoe is shaped like a toilet. Literally. It's called a horseshoe, which is shaped like a toilet. I mean, what? I don't even know what that means. A toilet seat.
Yeah, I
don't. Stay off YouTube, I said.
He tried a little hard
on that. The good Lord is everywhere. YouTube and even the horse's ass stadium. Oh, I forgot they just sold out the naming rights to the 100-year-old iconic landmark. Now Safe Flight Field. Got to make that record high payroll. What are you talking about? I don't know what this guy's talking about. He says the guy who made a video of himself being wrong. Yeah, we predicted the wrong Big Ten championship. I don't know what else you want me to say. That was before the game. I don't know what you want me to say. Oregon is ranked high. Okay, Oregon is ranked higher. They will get to choose the jersey colors in the Big Ten championship game. This girl keeps commenting. I don't know why. I mean, it's cool, but yeah, it's pretty random. He's 100% right. They will get plowed in the playoffs. They aren't tough at all. They had one tough game and lost, same every year. We're not going to get plowed in the playoffs. Penn State stinks. Aller is another McSorley. They beat up bad teams. They get curb stomped by anyone good.
Curb stomped. We don't get
curb stomped by.
Keyword curb stomped. Yeah. Very dramatic and incorrect, sir. Thank you, or ma'am.
He says this as a Penn State fan.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this kid? My name is Mark, and that's Jared right there. If you'd watch, you would know that. If you want to like Florida, have at it, bro. Have at, bro. What? Nobody cares what you think. Keep hating. Been dealing with this crap all my life as being a PSU fan. Shut your mouth. I said my name is literally in the title. If no one cares what I think, then why did you comment? Over 500 people can't think I care since they subscribed, and I just opened my mouth. My mouth is open. Can you see my mouth, Brett? It's open. I don't know what that guy's talking about.
He had too much to drink. Yeah, I think.
This guy said, so lose big versus one night game and on the road, plus head-to-head versus OSU does not translate to a 5 seed. Wah, wah. Hope you get a top 8 seed and draw an SEC opponent or Miami to your joint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Miami didn't make it.
Have fun on the road. We are. Miami didn't even make it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Oregon is going to run straight through Penn State. Zach,
we had more rushing yards.
Yeah,
so that's cute. Yeah.
It will be a close game. That guy was right. 2 morons who know nothing. I said morons. Goodness gracious, now we're morons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Notre Dame versus Piss U on home field, away neutral there by 21. Notre Dame's going to beat us by 21 if we play them.
That's hilarious.
For whoever gets Georgia or at Georgia, oh God have mercy. I mean, I agree in some way if their quarterback is done, I think. So I read that he has a UCL injury. Average timeout is 26 days. They play in 25 days. So even if he does come back, I don't know if he's 100%. I don't know if he will come back.
Yeah.
We'll see. Timmy from South Park. Wrong. Penn State can beat any team, any dang, winning hard. This guy said F that. Oregon is going to beat down Penn State pretty good. They did not. Be careful what you wish for. You might not be ready for what you see.
What?
You hope the expected team will get in there. Yeah, I don't know. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Charlie, again. Georgia blew out number 1 Texas.
Texas should have never been number 1. Texas is overrated all year.
Penn State is dog shit. I don't know why people keep talking Penn State is good. They're so terrible you don't know how to spell. King James, that makes sense.
Yeah. Ohio guy.
It's THEY''RE. That's how you spell there in that situation. So terrible just because you beat up on sorry-ass teams doesn't mean anything every time you play a game. Do you know what a run-on sentence is, by the way?
Well, apparently they don't. So
every time you play a game that matter, you always disappoint and don't win the games that matter. Whatever. Definitely right in the fantasy department. We're in fantasy. Look, big Penn State fan, love your optimism, and yes, you're right, anything can happen, but I can't get past Kodonecki and his offensive strategies. The guy's a knucklehead. He's not a knucklehead, in my opinion. Tell me you don't get frustrated with this BS. Yes, we say that every episode, dude. He's not a knucklehead. He's in his first year at a big.
He's done very well.
Yeah, and he's played in 2 big games in his life. That's it.
And the first big game, it was a failure, somewhat.
Yeah.
And the second big game, he knocked it out of the park. Yeah. He did. He's 1 for 1. He's 1 for 2.
And that's why I think if we play Ohio State or Oregon again, I think we can win. So
absolutely.
Clearly, they've learned throughout the season because they beat the living crap out of Maryland. And then they put up a lot of points against Oregon. Like we handed that game away pretty much because of mistakes. It is what it is. But we're a young team. We're a pretty young team, and like it's just we made a lot of mistakes. Lost by 8.
Offensive and defensive mistakes, both. Yep.
Alyssa says we have great points. Thank you. This guy said we're not the Mecca, of course. Okay, so this guy said, no offense, but you guys have been on the cusp but haven't even come close to winning a title since 1994. That's not true. I don't know what you're talking about. Wish you guys luck, but you're going to get rid of a guy who only lost 1 game this year. I'm sorry, but you guys aren't the Mecca anymore. That went, and any possibility of that being the Mecca after Joe Paterno got fired and all that garbage that was happening. People outside Penn State don't care about Penn State. I don't know. No titles since the 80s. No college football playoff. Hell, how many BCS games did you play in? Big Ten championships even just made the game. Dude, you don't know Penn State football at all, clearly. Also, in some ways, you admitted that you aren't either. I know you're not totally serious, but you mentioned Belichick. If you were the Mecca, you'd have the pull to get just about anyone. We do, dude. What are you talking about? We got Bill O'Brien from an undefeated Patriots team in the Super Bowl to come to our school after sanctions.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Welcome in, Kevin. Kevin's here.
Kevin, welcome in, Kevin. So here's the thing about that as well. I said Bill Belichick could come to Penn State. That was before I even knew that he was considering college jobs. Now he's a head coach at North Carolina, so clearly I was right about that.
Yep. I'm actually surprised, to be honest with that. We haven't talked about that yet, and I'm surprised that he took it. He's 72 years old, and he's a great coach, but my thoughts on it, and I could be wrong, I think he's probably washed. Look what happened after Tom Brady left. It was a complete disaster. College is so much harder when it comes to everything with the coaching aspect, with how much you have to do around the clock. I just don't see it happening for him, man. Maybe he hires an elite staff and he's just the CEO and he can do it. We'll have to. It's a wait and see type of thing. We just lost a quarterback to them. We were going after Bryce Baker, top 11 quarterback for 2025. We are in it to the end, but North Carolina hiring Bill Belichick obviously is a hard battle for us to win. If they would have hired some chump, we probably could have got it done, but they didn't hire a chump. So he just announced today that he's staying with North Carolina. So that's upsetting, but we'll be fine.
Give me a second, Brett.
37-17. Nittany Lions roll. Yeah, that's a good prediction. I think if everything goes right, I think we can certainly beat the brakes off of SMU. They are fast from what I've heard. They can't be Oregon fast, but I think we're going to be prepared for whatever they have to throw at us. I think the boys on our defensive line are going to get through this time, and they'll probably still get held, but we'll come through with some actual sacks this time. So I see us. I see that being the main factor in this game. Our defensive ends just rolling after their QB. He's a talented quarterback. He runs around and he can move outside the pocket. But yeah, I like that prediction, Mark. What do you think? I mean,
Yeah, I think we're going to cover the spread. I thought we would win by more than one touchdown for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll win by, well, he's saying 20, right? But
yeah.
No, is he saying? Yeah, he's saying
win by like 2 touchdowns at least.
Yeah, I think we win by 14.
So to continue, you said Alabama with natty runner-up, Washington head coach. Alabama with natty runner-up, Washington head coach. There's nothing bad about not being a mecca, but just start winning and making the call, and you're there. Hell, look at Michigan the last 2 years. You guys really need to beat OSU and get that monkey off y'all's back. We're the mecca. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just because we haven't made a national title recently doesn't mean we're not the mecca. The mecca means something you strive to be. We were the dynasty in the 80s, the dynasty in the 90s. We're not the dynasty now. From 2000 on, we had some successful seasons. We've had a lot of wins, a lot of winning seasons.
Yeah.
But it the history of the winningest coach of all time, what he built here, all the wins he had, built the biggest stadium in the second largest stadium in the country. It's the loudest stadium in the country, I'd say, of any sport, professionally and otherwise. It's, like I said, it's one of the biggest in the world. It's the best student section in the country. There's a lot of history, a lot of college football Hall of Famers, a lot of NFL Hall of Famers, a lot of legendary guys. It's the mecca. I mean, success. What was Ohio State doing in the 80s and 90s? What was USC doing in the 80s and 90s? What was Notre Dame doing in the 80s and 90s? They didn't have the success, they didn't have the long-term consistent success that we had. Ohio State won a national title in the early 2000s, I think. Notre Dame, can't remember the last time they won a national title.
It's been a while.
I mean, we've had that long-term consistent success along with the stadium, the fans, the winningest coach of all time, the most famous coach to ever walk the face of the earth. So now you've got Oregon to beat in that division. Yeah, it's going to be tough. LSU didn't offer him $6 million a year. I don't know who said that. We're talking about Bryce Underwood.
1988 for Notre Dame.
Okay, so
around the same time as us. Yeah.
Yeah, consistency across the board. We're the mecca, 100%. You can try and argue that all you want. You're not going to win that argument. We're the mecca of college football. You can hate on that all you want, or whatever. You can think what you want, but we're certainly the mecca. All right, so to go on to Kotelnicki, you give your thoughts on it, Brett.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought when Kotelnicki, when the rumors were he was taking an interview, I mean, your first thought is come on, dude, can we keep a freaking offensive coordinator for multiple years? That's good. We had Yurcich for 3 years. Yurcich at first it wasn't bad. He was doing okay. He wasn't completely failing at Penn State. But after a while, he didn't make any improvement. And that's why he was fired. After 3 years, he just didn't make any improvement. He did the same stuff. It just wasn't working for us. Kotelnicki, you can see through his first year, this is the first time I've seen a Penn State offensive coordinator in their first year do what Kotelnicki has done. You know what I mean? Even Joe Moorhead, I think it took a year or two to get things going, right? And, well, I guess since Joe Moorhead, it's been that we've had an offense that was exciting to watch. and making good improvements. So my first feeling was like, come on, man, like don't go over there. Don't take West Virginia job. You'll get a better job in the future if you stay with Penn State for multiple years with success. So my first thought was it was annoyance. Like I was kind of annoyed that he would do that. At the same time, like entertaining it. I mean, the interviewing process in general. Interviewing's tough. That's a certain skill. Look, you can be very good at your job, and you can interview terribly. So looking at it at that aspect, Mark, like to practice the interview process for a head coaching position, I think it's a good thing for him in the future. He ended up telling West Virginia because they wanted him to come over now. He was like, from what I've heard, he said, "I'm in the middle of a playoff with my team. I'm not leaving my team now." Like that shows that he's fighting for his guys. That shows that he loves Penn State. That shows that he's genuine. He's not just going to get up and leave for more money. He wants to stay and finish this off. And he tweeted, he said, "I'm excited for everything to come in 2025 as well." So I think some coaches would have just been like, you know what, we're in the middle of the playoff, but I can't pass the money up. I'm there. Let's go. Let's do this. West Virginia. But he told them, I'm with Penn State right now, and we have unfinished business, and so I'm not leaving. If you want me, you're going to have to wait. And they obviously couldn't wait. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, they hired Rich Rodriguez, which is hilarious, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's cool they got another coach, but Rich Rodriguez, he doesn't have the best history of winning, and I mean, he was at West Virginia before, wasn't he?
Yeah, he actually won pretty good at West Virginia. 2007, he had a really solid year, but that was the weird year in college football as well. So, but he was okay there.
I don't know how wasn't he fired from West Virginia, or was he fired? He was fired from Michigan, I think.
He was fired from Michigan. He was there for like 2 years, I think.
I think he was fired from West Virginia. I thought he was fired from West Virginia, but he might have left West Virginia to go to Michigan. But you don't see that a lot, where a coach leaves a team and comes back. You don't see that a lot. He's from, I believe, he's from West Virginia. So I mean that makes sense. But so my thing here was, now Penn State. I just pulled up the stats. They're like 15th in the nation total offense. Big Ten, they were leading in rushing. They led in rushing in the Big Ten. They had the total offense. They were second behind Oregon, which is pretty good. Passing wise, they were like seventh, I think. Rushing, they were first in the Big Ten.
Yep.
And then defense, we were third in the Big Ten. Special teams, we were, middle of the Big Ten. So first and foremost, I didn't think, first of all, for the fact that, like you just said, keeping an offensive coordinator at Penn State, okay, just you need to stay and keep some stability for this kid and Drew Aller.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to stay. Give the guy some stability. Give him one more year under a offensive coordinator. That would have been his third offensive coordinator if he left. Give him 2 years under an offensive coordinator. I think he can have some success a second year under Kotelnicki, because I don't think he's leaving. And I don't think our running backs are leaving either. I think they're going to stay. Mm-hmm. And the fact that so success-wise, top 15 in the country in his first year, I think is pretty good. But I don't think the guy's good enough to be taking a head coach job yet. Eventually, I think he will be a head coach. I don't think he's good enough to do it yet. And the fact that he entertained it, I think, is a distraction. And like going for 2 in the Big Ten title game, I thought that because, first of all, I don't know why they did that. I thought it was a mental hurdle that they had to overcome later in the game. They had to score 8, not 7. I think they might have been a little less I think they may have scored again if they weren't down 8 and were down 7. I don't know. It was just I felt a big mental hurdle to overcome, and I just don't think this guy should be entertaining head coaching jobs right now. While right before the Big Ten title game, I mean, I just, at the end of the day, man, you're a coach. You take the opportunities when you can, but to be entertaining jobs while you're in the season, I just don't think is good. And I don't think Manny Diaz should have even left. I mean, I think he should have stayed here. My goodness, he was so good at what he did, man.
He did have a good first year too. 9-3.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
If you're a successful position coach, man, give us one more year this year. They may have done better with him. They probably would have.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a menace when it came to defensive coaching. I mean, he was awesome. He was the man. Yurcich, a little different. Couldn't have done much about that. He was bad. He was fired, obviously. That was a different story. But just overall, man, I just don't think you should be entertaining these coaching hires. I don't know. I just think it's a distraction. I just don't like it. I'm old school. Joe's staff never left. They pretty much all stayed. Fran Ganner, he wasn't there like in the later years. But Galen Hall was there. He had the same staff like for a long time, and that used to be the norm where you pretty much had the same staff year in, year out. I know we're in different times, but I don't think you should even be entertaining jobs, because I'm pretty sure I heard one of the stipulations was you can't coach in the playoff for Penn State. You have to come here right now, and that's ridiculous. So I don't think Manny Diaz did Manny Diaz coach in the bowl game last year? I don't remember.
No.
And they didn't have an offensive coordinator either. So it's like,
nope.
That's total BS in my opinion. Like if you're not finishing a season, that's total BS. I just don't think that's good.
Well, it's just weird timing because like these job positions come open at the dumbest times, and if you wait, you're not going to get a job if you want to be a head coach. So it's like at some point I get your aspect of it, but at the same time I get why like you have to make a decision, yes or no, and the opportunities only come around so often if it's something you're interested in. So West Virginia's a decent job, but if Cole Nicky would have been offered that during the off season, he probably would have took it. You know what I mean? That's a better time to do it. But they're firing coaches at the worst times, like we've seen. So it's just like unfortunate that that's the case. So I don't know.
Yeah, and like West Virginia, they need to find a coach because they need to get on that right away, and they did.
Yeah.
But it's our rival, man. Like I don't know, to interview at a rival. I just don't like that. We hate West Virginia. We hate Pitt. Now, if he had interviewed at Pitt or something, that would have really pissed me off because I hate Pitt.
Yeah.
I just don't think he should be doing that. But that's our opinions on that. But he's here. He's staying. We're gonna get one more year with him. I think Drew comes back. Yep. I think the only people we know of that are going to truly leave: Kevin Winston, Abdul Carter. I think our running backs come back. I think pretty much everyone comes back. I don't think we're going to have a lot of guys in the portal.
The offensive side,
which sucks.
We'll be better off on the offensive side, which is good because that's where we need more growth. But the defensive side, we're looking at. We'll talk about the portal in a second whenever you're ready. The defensive tackles, they're all leaving. They're all out of eligibility, like all of our starters are. So if Alonzo Ford can get healthy, I think he has a year left, so he'll stay for that. He was playing really well, so we're going to need him healthy. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Next on to the next thing, Tyler Warren wins the Mackey, which is, cool. Brett messaged me the other night and he said, "Did you see Tyler Warren won the Mackey?" I said, "Yep," because I did not care. Like, it's cool that he won it. I mean, that's awesome. Good for him. He deserves it. Like, I mean, my God, who else would you give it to? I said I really didn't care. And Brett disagreed with that, which I understand, obviously. So Brett, you talk about him winning the Mackey. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I was just there was some thoughts on it because Harold Fannin Jr. from Bowling Green, he had more reception yards, a few more receiving touchdowns. So like there was, if anything, I would have been pissed if they would have gave it to him because he plays for Bowling Green on a not good team. They what's it called? They play lesser competition. Like he did good against us. Obviously, he did good against Texas A&M, but I just thought it was a big deal that he got the Mackey. Like you said, he well deserved. I mean, he had an incredible, legendary performance this whole year. You could always count on him. He had one drop all year up until the Big Ten championship game, and then he had two drops in that game. Not going to take anything from him. The one pass he should have caught, the other one was not a good pass to him. So just out of the ordinary drops for him. He usually catches everything, but I just think it's a big deal. It's the first Penn State tight end to win the Mackey Award. So that's why I was excited, I think, for him and for Penn State because we're turning into tight end U, let's be honest. Iowa was tight end U, not any longer. Penn State has taken over the crown for tight end university. So if anybody has a problem with it, please drop your comments below because you'll be incorrect if you think Iowa is tight end U now. Because Penn State is taking over. We're getting 5-star guys in the position, and we're throwing them in the NFL like it's nothing. Second round tight ends. And Tyler Moore might be a first round tight end. He might be taken at the end of the first round. I think he should be. He deserves it. If he's taken in the early second round, I won't be mad because, I mean, that's still very good. I don't see him dropping to the third round. If he drops to the third round, then people need to get their head examined and need brain surgery immediately because this dude, he's probably going to the Chiefs. Let's be honest. He, as much as I hate the Kansas City Chiefs, he's the perfect fit for them. I mean, Travis Kelce's getting older. He can learn under Kelce. Or if he went to the Niners under George Kittle. I mean, if he went under Kittle, he would learn a lot as well. So yeah, very excited for Tyler. He deserves it. But like you said, it was kind of expected for him to win it, so it makes sense that it happened. But just to see it written in Sharpie, if you will, as a metaphor, it was good to see it announced.
Nick Dawkins won the Warfel Trophy, which I actually was impressed more by.
Yeah.
Nick Dawkins is the man. Brett knows Nick Dawkins. Great center, and that position is extremely hard. So good for him. He won the Community Service Award. But you have to be a good player to win that as well. So good for him.
He exceeded expectations this year. Like, we didn't know what we were going to get. He's a fifth-year senior, waited his turn, and he played outstanding for the most part. Like, as the season went on, he was bullying people. So, great job, Nick. Big shout-out to you, man. Keep it up.
Yep. We've got so my opinion on it was, it goes for the portal recruiting, which is obviously important, but for me, my outlook is we have all this talent right now. We could use a receiver. We could use our safety not being hurt.
Yep.
You win awards, you get guys in the portal, you get recruits, but it's the same result. It has been the same result every year. 10-2. If you're not 10-2 against the teams you should beat, you're losing a game like on the road against Minnesota in 2019, killed our playoff chances. It's the same result every year, so that's why I'm happy for Tyler Warren. He deserves it. He should be in the Heisman race. It's total BS that he's not. But at the end of the day, it's like, what does it mean for our team winning? This is going to mean more recruits at tight end for sure. We're turning into tight end U. Penn State isn't really steeped in that much tradition at tight end. I mean, we got Kyle Brady, we got Kyle Carter, we got Andrew Corliss, Andrew Zerba back in the day. We've had some good tight ends for sure. Pratt Fryermuth, Jesse James, but to win that award, the first Penn State tight end, that's awesome. And there's other guys at Penn State probably could have won that at tight end because we've had some good ones, but like running back, linebacker, we're not that steeped in tradition at tight end. And I just thought that it's the same result every year as a season, which is what I care ultimately about. So I'm not a big I just don't really care that much about awards. But now if we went like 11-1 or something, and then, or if we went undefeated, and then we would have had more guys win awards, because if we would have gone undefeated, I mean, Aller might have been in the hunt for something. Nick might have been in the hunt for something. Abdul,
Yep.
the fact that he didn't win anything is pretty ridiculous. Travis Hunter, who I think is pretty overrated, he won a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's just Ashton Genty should win the Heisman Trophy. Abdul Carter should have won an award over Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is just he's overrated. He's very, very good, but he is overrated. I mean,
it's a popularity contest.
He gets way too much praise. Yeah, like it is
a popularity
contest.
Because of Deion Sanders, Colorado.
Yeah. Manti Te'o was in the Heisman race the one year, and that was strictly popularity. He wasn't much in the NFL. The Steelers took Jarvis Jones over Manti Te'o in the draft, who was a bust, but I mean, that just showed you all the hype. A team like the Steelers passed on Manti Te'o for Jarvis Jones out of Georgia. I mean, Mel Kiper was just all over Manti Te'o, how great he was. And the Steelers, he wasn't even the first linebacker taken. He was in the picture for the draft advertisement. He was in the picture for it. And he wasn't even the first one off the board. So, yeah. But,
Mel Kiper's trash.
Yeah, he is.
He's garbage.
Let me think what else that we may have missed. Portal news. Alabama, Michigan will play in a bowl game. Kirk Herbstreit's kid is going to Michigan.
Yep.
3-star guy. And you hate the Chiefs because you're a Raiders fan. That's mainly why you hate the Chiefs.
That's one of the reasons. And they get treated like little children, and they get every call, they almost lose every game and somehow win it. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
T.A. Cunningham is transferring, which sucks. We got him and one other kid in that class at D tackle. I forget the other kid's name, but T.A. is transferring. So
makes sense.
It is what it is. He was a pretty high recruit. Selfless heroism is legalized in New York, with Daniel Penny being acquitted. Quentin Joyner has entered the transfer portal. We got a couple guys at running back that we could go get. Quentin Joyner is one of them. That kid from Alabama we could go get.
Justice Haynes.
We'll get into the Total Necky is coming back. Brett, we'll talk about the portal. We wanted to talk about that. There was one other thing that I forgot about that I wanted to talk about. This is Kevin Brown. That's that dude that did the
jumped
Michael
out of a pole.
He did that, and he did the Michael Orr thing. He pushed a kid way downfield. That kid's a freak.
This dude's 16 years old. Look at him.
Yeah, my God,
unbelievable.
And we're looking at Bear Alexander. His whole thing is that he was at 4 different high schools in high school. I think this will be his 3rd or 4th team in a college. So he has commitment issues apparently. Yeah. Justin King talked about that it's a red flag, but he's a great player. I'd like to have him.
Mm-hmm. He's on campus right now. Today.
I think recruiting wise, we got some receivers. We got 3 or 4 4-star guys. We got a ton of 4-star guys on our recruiting signing day.
Yep.
I think this is what I wanted to talk about. Next thing is what I wanted to talk about, but I think this is hilarious. Can a kicker win the Heisman?
Oh, I watched that.
Yeah, this is funny. Let's see what part is he on? I sent you part 2. Can a kicker win the Heisman? He's on. He hit an 86-yard field goal. Oh, he's on part 5 now. But this is pretty funny. I'd follow this if I were you guys. He's trying to win the Heisman as a kicker, which is pretty funny.
He didn't score any touchdowns in any game. It was just kicks.
No, he just gets in field goal range and kicks it.
He'd be kicking it for 1st and 10.
Yeah, I used to do that in NCAA. I would make the ball go at the 1-yard line, and then I would run 99 yards as a receiver, as a running back, and try to win the Heisman. And it's funny, like, the one year I had like 2,000 yards rushing, like 120 touchdowns, and I didn't win it. And it's just like the computer was just like, oh, this guy's better. It's like, what?
It's trash.
I have like 10,000 rushing yards as a career. You're not giving me the Heisman.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Bear Alexander, Penn State Threads posted the 95 Heisman ceremony in New York. That's Rashawn Salam, who won it from Colorado. Steve McNair. Dude, how in the heck was Warren Sapp in the Heisman race? That's crazy. He was really good, but my goodness, that's insane that he was in the Heisman ceremony. And then Kerry Collins and Kajana, obviously, are two guys.
Yep.
All right, so we'll get into. All right.
Portal.
First and foremost, yeah. We'll get into the portal once I do these last couple stories, but Paul Posluszny, College Football Hall of Fame, he's the man.
Absolutely.
Still doesn't have a neck, which is awesome. Dude, his jawline is insane.
Yeah.
That guy is like, he's still like ripped out of his mind.
You know what's funny about Paul? He doesn't have a neck, and Abdul Carter has 2 necks. That dude has 2 freaking necks, man.
Dude, Abdul Carter, of all the linebackers we've had, especially wearing number 11, I think he's the best ever. Like, he's that good. I think he's better than LeVar. I think he's better than Micah. You know, he's so good. Like, God.
Yeah, he's good.
Deuce Robinson from USC is going somewhere. All right. So we got Jay-Z has continued to be partnered with the NFL.
Which is despicable.
Drake is starting, yeah. You know, there's that story. There was a funny thing with Shaq. Did I send you that? The Shaq thing? Where
I'm not sure.
Kenny Jackson, the guy on the TNT show, he starts talking about Jay-Z, and Chuck's like, "Oh, you better not talk about that right now." And like Shaq gets up and walks away because he thinks it's so funny. All right. Drake is starting a clothing line with the NFL. I commented on it. I can't wait not to buy that. This commercial where this guy's on a date with
Yeah, it was funny.
That guy definitely voted for Kamala, I said, because he jumps out the car. And this one guy commented back. He said, "Bro, didn't Michigan go blue and OSU go blue?" And I said,
"What?
First of all, Ohio State is not a state. Michigan went red. Ohio went red. What are you talking about? He said that OSU, I guess Ohio, went red and went blue and Michigan went blue. And still, that has nothing to do with my comment. But anyway.
No, it didn't.
People are just dumb. Larry Johnson was on Jason Whitlock's show talking about Beyonce.
Yep.
And then, let's see. One last thing here. And then we'll get into the portal. All right. Xavier Leggett
Eats raccoon.
This dude
Okay, so like, is there something weird that you like to eat or something you don't like to eat that you can never eat that most people would eat? You know, like what's something in the food industry that you know, that you have a weird opinion on?
Well, y'all probably seen that video when I tell them folks I eat raccoon.
You what?
I eat raccoon.
I didn't see that.
I said, oh, what do you mean raccoon? Like the raccoon?
Like a raccoon that you see in the trash can.
Where do you even eat that at? Where do you even get that?
Dude, these guys are like, "What, you buy that in a store or what?"
I know, right?
They have no idea.
I hunt it, I kill it, I skin them, cook them, eat them.
So when's the last time you had a raccoon?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
I don't know what happened. What the heck? You still there?
I'm here. Yeah. You're frozen. Hello? Mm. Hold on, guys. Second here.
I guess we're back on. Hold on. I don't know what happened. My internet crashed or something.
Yeah, froze for a second.
Or you had you
Now
found
my cousins, all my people them hunting all that. So my cousins them they killed it.
What's your hottest food take? So like, is there something weird that you like to eat?
Dude, he is like in his interview, in his draft interview, like you couldn't understand what he was saying. His accent is so thick.
That's so thick.
That is a southern accent, man. Holy crap!
Yeah.
He said he eats raccoon.
He loves it.
Dude, his accent is awesome. Like
I eat coon.
Thick. His
I know, I like it.
So thick. Like that is.
Yeah.
I've heard some people talk like with a thick accent like that, but man, his is so thick.
His is very thick. Yeah.
I had some neighbors that were from Texas once, and their accent was so thick. Oh my goodness. She was telling us one time that the tornadoes where they were from were so bad. She said there'd be trees there in Texas that you couldn't even wrap your arms around.
Mm-hmm.
And tornadoes would come through and the trees would be like wrapped around each other.
It's crazy.
Like that's how crazy the tornado was. Like insane. But
yeah, the small towns in Texas, that's where the accents are coming from. Most of the state, people don't have accents, but certain parts of the state, people do.
All right, Brett. Recruiting,
transfer portal. Yeah,
transfer portal. What do you got?
So yesterday, Penn State hosted a offensive tackle. We can always use offensive line depth. Offensive tackle out of Utah State. So West Coast guy, smaller school, Utah State, but they're always pretty decent sometimes. He's the cool thing about him, he's only a sophomore, so he's got multiple years left. He's 6'5" or 6'6", 308 or something. So big guy. Probably could put on a few more pounds and tighten up in Penn State's program if we get him. But we hosted him yesterday. I think he's taking one more visit to NC State tomorrow or today, and then he'll probably make his decision afterwards. So we're in the hunt for the Utah State offensive tackle. We're hoping we can get him. Today we have defensive end out of Texas A&M, Eli White, I think is his name. He's got, I think, 1 year left. He's on campus today. He's from Philadelphia, so there's like the Pennsylvania ties. Most of the people we go after are guys that Penn State either recruited in high school because they know the relationship there, or it's people that are like, they have some type of connections with Pennsylvania, whatever that might be. So we got him on campus today. Big one, I think we can get defensive tackle David Blay out of Louisiana Tech. He had really good stats this year. He had like 6 or 7 sacks as a defensive tackle. He had over 10 tackles for loss as a defensive tackle. A lot of tackles. Like overall. So good player out of Louisiana Tech. He's from Westchester, so another Pennsylvania guy that we can try to get. And then we got Bear Alexander on campus today. Like you said, he went to like 3 or 4 different high schools in high school. He started his college career at Georgia, played 1 year there. Actually, flashed a little bit as a freshman or sophomore. Went to USC for 1 year. I think he got banged up a little bit and then got replaced. Like he lost his lineup. So once he got healthy again, he went in the transfer portal. And Penn State's not stupid. Like obviously, we need defensive tackle depth. They're going to do a very thorough interview process with him while he's on campus today. And they might even be like, "Hey, man, listen. Like, we know you've moved around a lot. If you want to come to Penn State, you're gonna have to stay. Like, come to Penn State and play. Show us that you can be a player for us." And I think Penn State, like, it's not the character fit that we usually go for, but at the same time, we could craft him into a better player and a better person. This is Penn State, so maybe that's something they're willing to work on. Is, hey, if you come here, not only will you have a chance to go to the NFL, but you'll have a chance to grow as a person too. So it's something to look at. Do I think we land him? I think it's 50-50. He has to go to Oregon still. He just went to SMU and one other school. He's in the hunt for a couple schools. And then we got wide receiver Eric Rivers out of Florida or FIU. He's coming on the 19th, so he'll be in on campus like a couple days before our game versus SMU. He's highly coveted in the portal right now. He has a couple visits going on. It's gonna be a tough one to land, but I think we can possibly land Eric Rivers. There was another receiver we were supposed to have come to visit this week, and he committed to Texas Tech last night. I wasn't happy about that. Reggie Virgil out of Miami of Ohio, another smaller school, but some of these smaller school guys, for one, we can't afford a number one receiver right now out of the portal. And for two, if you look at the transfer portal, there's not a number one receiver in the portal right now. There's not an elite receiver in the portal like there was last year. So we're kind of going off of what's out there, and you can't just take anybody to take anybody. You can't. Like, there's no point. You have to get somebody you think's going to make an impact. Do they have to be a wide receiver one impact? No, I think we just need help. We need somebody who can catch some passes for us, score some touchdowns. So Reggie Virgil would have been a nice addition, but like I said, he committed to Texas Tech. Could we flip him? Yeah, it's probably not too late to flip him. Maybe he'll still take a visit. I don't know. I don't have any reports on that yet. But it kind of stinks that we only have one receiver visit so far, and Eric Rivers. So we got to throw whatever we can at him, man. We have to. But I think we'll land the offensive tackle. I think we'll get at least one of the defensive tackles. Like I said, defensive end from Texas A&M, from Philadelphia. It makes sense, but he doesn't have crazy stats at Texas A&M. He went through some injuries and some bumps and bruises and didn't really play much. So, but he has the potential. He was a top 100 recruit out of high school. So we just got to wait and see on that. We'll have more visits in the future, of course. It's only, December 14th right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the portal doesn't close for 2 more weeks, so we certainly have time, and we don't have to. People don't have to commit by the 28th. They have to be in the portal by the 28th. So something to look and see at. But hey, we got some visits coming in on campus, like 5 or 6 of them. So that's a good start, and we definitely need some depth after people leaving after the season. So yep, we'll keep an eye on it and update you guys.
Yeah, so Brett's the recruiting / portal guy. It's also, I follow it, but I don't talk about it. Brett, talks about it.
I love it.
In the off season, we will break down the recruiting class. We will break down the portal guys that we got. We will break down each player, pull them up their picture, break them down. I've done that in the past. So we will break down each recruit, each portal guy, and we'll kind of plug them into the roster and how they fit. So we will do that in the off season, as I said. So we've got some guys that we could get. We've got some guys that particularly in recruiting, like our class, for example, we got multiple 4-star guys. The portal, we have some, like, particularly a running back, which is what interests me the most. We got some guys that we could get. But just looking at our, like, playoff roster, we got Trey Wallace, Fleming, we got Amari at receiver, Tyzier, we got Liam, and at O-line we got Drew, Javen Williams backing him up, Vega, we got Nick Dawkins, big Nick Dawkins.
Donka's hurt. Yeah.
What the heck? Yeah, Donka's hurt, unfortunately. We've talked about him.
Oh.
He's a freak.
Yep.
We got Sal Warren,
freshman.
Nolan Rucci, and J.B. Nelson. Yep. Tyler Warren, Khalil, Luke Reynolds.
Yep.
Joey Schlaffer's in there. Raplier's in there. We're not going to see him, but then we got Drew and Bo at quarterback. We got Nick Catron, Corey Smith. On top of that, we got Cam Wallace coming back next year.
Yep.
Then we got Denai, Zane, Devon, Abdul, Tony, Rojas, Kobe King, Jalen Kimber, our guy, Jalen Reed, Saki Wheatley, AJ Harris, Zion Tracy, nickel, Cam Miller at nickel. And I think Cam Miller comes back. Zion's coming back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think AJ comes back.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore. Yep.
Yeah, Zaki comes back. But we're going to lose some guys there. But we got Vabo Torrey, for example, Kenny Wosley coming up, Elliot Washington, Lamont Payne coming up.
Belgrave Shorter. Yep.
Belgrave Shorter, yep.
John Mitchell.
So across the board, man, like we should have some guys coming back for sure. I think Denai comes back. I think Zane comes back. I hope Zane Durant, please God, come back.
I think Zane will come back. I think he wants to. He did great this year, but he can be even better. Yeah.
I hope Abdul comes back, but that's obviously wishful thinking.
Yeah, he's not. So, he's out.
And then again, like at some point we'll break down the the recruiting class, but and moving, I moved some stuff around where I shoot this show, and I have to get like a longer computer cable to plug it directly into my Wi-Fi router. Which is why it might be a little delayed right now because I'm just going off of Wi-Fi before it was actually plugged in. So I'll get that eventually. But, Brett, is there anything else you want to talk about right now?
I think we covered a lot of it, man. I think we got a good bit. Like we said, we'll do a pregame like Thursday or something like that.
Yeah.
Big
Friday
game
might be better for me with my schedule, changing.
Friday. When do you work Friday?
I'm off.
You're off?
Yeah.
Might be able to do during the day.
Yeah.
I can't do it at night. Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah, we'll coordinate that. But I'm gonna have Rob Ashinsky on again, the owner of Victory Sports. Hopefully we can have Brett on for their next episode of basketball coverage, which is I'm already in talks with Tyler for that.
We beat the crap out of Coppin State today. Yep.
Almost scored 100. Should have, but we kind of let it go there at the end.
But Ace Baldwin, fun fact, Ace Baldwin broke a program record with assists, 16 assists. That was the first. That was a record since 1975. So
yeah, I told Tyler I want to make an all name team for basketball. We got some good ones, man. Ace Baldwin, Johnson, Stanley Pringle. We had Taylor Battle back in the day. I mean, those are all just great names. My goodness.
Lamar Stevens.
Kevin Montanami, that's another guy I'd like to put in there. I played against him in high school. He played at Penn State. I think he's on Wall Street now. You remember Kevin Montanami? Remember him?
Yeah. Now we got Yannick Conan Neuenheiser. That's the name right there. Switzerland. Swiss guy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy name.
Well, that's like, what was that one dude that played for the Bulls that was from, I think, like Sweden?
Okay.
Kukoc, Tony Kukoc, remember him? Was it Kukoc, I think?
I think so.
I played with Jordan and them back in the day.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Yeah, Tyler was talking about guarding Yao Ming. I was like, geez. Crazy. Because Tyler's 6'9", Tyler Smith. And he said he was at his, like, waist, Yao Ming. Because Yao Ming was like 7'10" or something.
Something crazy, yeah. 7'8", 7'9". We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, if you've ever been around Tyler Smith, he's tall, very tall. He's 6'9".
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking up at the guy. He has to duck to walk into the door at the gym.
Yao Ming 7'6", but still,
he's
that's
guarding
crazy.
a guy who he was at his waist. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's insane.
He had 9 inches on him.
You don't even have to jump to dunk. You're just dropping the ball in at that point.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
There are guys like that, which is insane. But, all right, Brett, we will see you guys this week at some point for pregame. Probably going to cover the Steelers at some point. Like I said, I have to have the patience to do that.
Yeah.
Jared, he's all about it. I wish I could just let Jared talk about it. Like, I'll just be like, Jared, you talk about it. I'm good. You have your own show. I might just do that.
Do it.
It's like, Jared, you have your own show, man. Like, you log in, do it, get off, you're good. So, all right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
And we will see you guys this week. And we got pregame, for SMU playoff game. So let's go. Let's enjoy our time off and get that dub next weekend.
Let's do it. We are Penn State.
See you guys.
See you guys.